everybody. Gotta Be podcast with you again here this afternoon. We are back with a little bit different episode.
We're here to discuss the tea.
The tea. It's the tea. We want to talk about our comments. The short that we were so happy to have Camille in, where she told a story about her student, has over 700,000 views now.
Yeah.
And 7,000 comments. And y'all know how good we are at being in the comments. I'm joking. But we do like to interact in the comments. But 7,000 is just
a lot to work with.
It's a lot. So we thought maybe we could answer some of them in long video form. And hopefully we answer some in the comments too.
Can I go upstairs and get my phone?
Yeah.
Also, if anyone would like some chai smoothie, let me know.
Camille hook you up.
It's pretty good if I do say so myself.
So first, before we get into anything, I just really want to give such a big shout out to all the people that love us and support us and tell us keep talking, and that have subscribed and have liked it and have been so sweet and kind in the comments.
Right, because there's no way we say everything right, but they're still kind. They still encourage us to keep talking, and
we're so undeserving.
And we just really appreciate, like, your love and encouragement is what inspires us to keep going. I mean,
can you stir a little louder, please?
If it was all controversy, then we might become discouraged.
There was a patch of time when I was really discouraged because it was only negative comments. What's the main negative comment that we can
get?
But
I feel like it's good to get negative too.
Right? I mean, controversy is good.
No one's wrong.
Right.
You know? And it broadens our horizons too.
And it's good to have a discussion because, you know, as long as people are willing to talk about it, and I think obviously there's comments made not in a spirit of discussion, but as long as people are willing to talk about it, then maybe we can arrive at a resolution. It's when people refuse to even broach the topic that we can't. So we appreciate all of it. But especially to those of you who have supported us and encouraged us, we love you back. We love you back. But to all the haters, we want to address some of the comments. It's been interesting. Most of our videos have been probably 75% love, 25% negative comments. But this one was much closer to 50-50.
That's not 100%. Yeah, it is. Ignore me. Nothing.
50-50 has been more what this short has been. And I think it's really interesting that interracial marriage is such a controversial topic.
So we were right. It's something that needs to be talked about.
It's something that should be brought up. So some of our haters, maybe I shouldn't even call them haters.
I don't think they're haters.
I'm going to take that back. Not even haters.
They
don't even hate us. They're just talking. And you know what? People are allowed to talk. So some people in the comments have said, well, you all aren't even really black. So I'm not sure what they were saying.
Like, how can you talk about it if you aren't even black? Which, I mean, that to me, we come from an interracial marriage, so that gives me all the more room to talk. Like, you're not going to tell me what I can't say about interracial marriage.
We grew up in a house with interracial marriages. I feel like that gives us a platform to talk about it somewhat. Now, I do want to acknowledge that the black experience, I would never try to say that, you know, as a light-skinned black person, I'm having the same experience as another dark-skinned black person, because that's just not true. It's different for everybody. But it's different in the same way that the black experience is different for a black man and a black woman, different for a black adult and a black child, different for
a black person in the 60s
as opposed to a black person now. So is it different? Absolutely. But does it all still fall under the umbrella of the black experience? It does.
It does.
It does. And we didn't ask for the one drop rule, but we can't deny that it still affected us. Yes.
I mean, like, tell corporate America we're not black. Like, see how far we get, right?
Right. Like, yes, white, yes, we are not.
A few moments later.
We can't deny that we're still affected by the one drop rule. No, nobody will let me say I'm white. No matter what, they won't. But, okay, there's some people that have a problem with us saying we're black. And they want us to say we're multi-ethnic or multiracial or whatever. But the truth is, back then we would have been considered black. And now in America, by corporate America, as you already mentioned, we're treated as if we're black.
It's your turn to talk. I'm not.
Also, another third of the comments that we got were about the story Camille told about the little student, which a bunch of people were like, how you got a student? We're older than we look.
I know I look 12, but
we're older than we look.
switch that around.
Yeah, another third of the comments, people were like, well, it is true. Black women are loud, think they bougie was the other thing, and annoying. Right? A lot of people were like, okay, that might be cap on the beautiful.
That's cap.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, okay, that's cap on the beautiful. At least they were able to admit that. But I was honestly surprised at the amount of people that aren't able to really take a look at the big picture, right? If Black women are loud, why do they feel the need to be loud? If Black women are masculine, why do they feel the need to act in their masculine energy?
Like, if it's true, first of all, like,
obviously,
aside from the fact of whether it's true or not, put that aside. If it is true, well, why is it true? And are we just gonna jump up and down on Black women and say, how can you?
Someone literally said, Black women are the problem of America.
How about America is the problem of Black women? Like,
for real.
I mean, it's caused this. It's the system that's allowed it.
Yeah.
And that's such a broad statement. Like, all Black women are annoying and loud and bougie and ugly.
Yeah, forget that it's a stereotype.
Yeah. Which stereotypes always come from somewhere. So I'm not saying that a lot of Black women aren't loud. I mean, and people were like, and look at them. They're even loud.
We're loud.
And
I cannot lie.
I cannot promise any personality changes. I'm probably always going to be loud and talking loud.
Yeah, and sorry if you're offended that we were laughing whenever we told the story, because, I mean, just look back at our videos, we just kind of are always laughing. Like, there's always something funny to us. It's not like we're disrespecting it.
We were always,
like, if you took it that way, you know, we didn't mean disrespect at all. It's not like, the actual thing is not funny.
The issue is not funny.
The audacity of it is like,
it's
laughable.
Comical. Yes. The ridiculousness of it is funny. It's not the issue. It's not the social issue that we're laughing about. We take that very seriously, which is why we even wanted to make a podcast about it, because it's serious to us. But the little boy telling the story,
like, right straight to our face. Like,
right,
you just
like,
gonna look at these Black women and be like, and then a lot of people were upset because you had said, well, why did you say that? Like, they're like, you can't require a validation from him, blah, blah, blah.
That's kind of your job as a teacher, though. Like, pull things out of children.
Make your children
make them think, like, he stated this, well, why? You know, you're just trying to help them
say that?
And I'm
develop
not
their reasoning.
Absolutely. And I'm not trying to say it's wrong for him to have a preference. He's allowed to have a preference.
Yeah, if he likes white girls, that's fine. But it shouldn't
good.
be because he thinks Black women are this certain negative way.
Therefore, he can only date white girls.
Like, because that's a fallacy.
That's a problem.
Not correct.
And maybe he's not going to have deep reasoning for it right now. But maybe when he grows up, he can look back on that moment and be like, oh, you know what? My teacher gave me an opportunity to learn from something that I said. Like, she made me think about why I said that. The cookies are not good. They're not a hit. So
we're just eating them because it looks like
pretending to have it so we can look bougie. There you go. Yeah. We acting bougie. Another thing people were a little bit upset about is the statistic I gave right at the end that interracial marriage has increased over 100%, which I completely get that. I didn't give a time period for it, which I do have the statistic here with me. I got it from some Pew Research, which I do understand. I'm not a doctor yet, so
not yet.
I don't be like as verified as ever. I do understand I would have to cross-check it for it to be completely accurate, but this is where I read it from. So, interracial marriage between Blacks and white has tripled. It was 5% in 1980 to 18% in 2015. I think some people aren't understanding the math. If it's 5% in 1980 and it's 10% now, that is a 100% increase.
But it's actually 18%.
But it's actually 18%. So it's actually over what I had said. So I think some people just aren't understanding the math. Interracial marriage is not 100%.
No.
Right. It's not nearly 100%. The majority of people are still marrying in culture. But we're just talking about simply the fact that it has doubled, is over 100%.
And that's interesting.
It's just an interesting fact to
not
observe.
that it's wrong.
Yeah.
And it's not wrong to question. I think even preferences that the little boy is completely legitimate to have.
On your lip.
The preferences that the little boy is completely legitimate to have, it's not wrong to ask him why. What makes you think like that?
What makes you think like that?
And he could have,
wrong.
right, and he could have
critical
completely
thinking.
legitimate reasons, but the reasons he gave
are based on literally a social media presence that has been given. And people
Which-
are
that
like,
was my thought.
Sexy Red is the reason black women are stupid. Okay, well, where did Sexy Red come from? Is she the problem? Or who is that?
Who produced her, right?
Who produced her? And
Or
I'm
what
not
produced
saying
her?
black women shouldn't take responsibility for their actions, because we should. If I'm being loud
a
and
bad
annoying
example.
and ratchet, well, then I should fix my actions. But if it's being put on me,
And if there's a whole, like, it's one thing if there's, you know, one black woman that's acting like that. But if you are saying, well, black women are like that, you're not thinking, like, why? What would cause a whole group of women to act like that? If that's true.
and
why?
I'm irritated. Okay, I don't know, but like I'm just irritated at like black men that are irritated about, because I'm like, that's your mother you're talking about. That's your sisters. That's your aunties. That's your uncle. And when you have a child, you are going to produce a black woman. So like, stop while you're ahead, because you can only produce a black female. You're talking about against your daughter. You're talking against your mom.
What you mentioned about social media, that's what I was trying to remember before. And I just think it is true that little boy could have formed his. Some people said he got that from the home, and that could be true. He could have been getting it from his dad. He could have given it from his mom. I mean, we don't know all about his home situation. And then other people were like, he definitely picked that up from social media. That is totally plausible as well. There's a whole agenda on social media to present black women in a certain light. You can find all kinds of black women on social media. You can find homemakers, and you can find businesswomen, and you can find doctors and lawyers and scientists. You can find everything. But general,
What is everyone talking about? They're talking about Sexy Red and Sukiana. No one's talking about the other women.
and
right?
there's
just an
obviously
agenda.
an agenda to present black women in a certain light. That's not positive. And that would affect a young boy if he has access in a negative way.
And then the last third of the comments were people that are in love with Camille.
No, please.
That was a
please stop.
large group. That was a large
That
group.
was a large group.
They just said that they would just marry her or date her. And,
Or anything. Yeah.
and so we love that. So we're just going to keep bringing Camille on the show.
No, we're not.
Because apparently
last one.
everybody loves
She's
Camille.
the favorite child of the group.
Which is fine. She's
We had this phase that we went through where we like listened to the Jonas Brothers.
didn't
Everyone's
want you
so
to-
sad
I
that I'm
did-
saying
I
this
did
too.
not
We're
want you to admit that.
Why not? It's literally interesting.
No,
Okay?
it's not.
Okay, fine. It's not interesting. They're boring. They won't let me talk about the Jonas Brothers. But just don't listen to them.
Because it's not interesting.
It's not. Who even...
Third wheel status.
That's not what that means. That's not what that means.
Victim mentality.
It was gonna be interesting.
I mean, you started now. You might as well finish it.
No, it's
I
okay.
You should
She
put
can
our
get cut off.
information out there.
She's trying to act. No. Trying to act sad in her little corner.
Okay, well, I am sad because it was gonna be interesting. But anyways, we can end now if you want.
Well, thank you to everybody that loved us. Thank you to everybody that hated us.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you for the
all
comments.
your interaction. We wanted interaction, and you gave
And you
it.
gave it to us.
So great.
Yep.
We love hearing from everybody, even the
Honestly.
people that
That don't like us, even the people that
what I'm
still
talking
think we're
about?
Amish, literally.
Even the
I love
people
you too.
we love
That
you
are
too.
still
We don't
asking if we're
love
Amish.
that you say that
we don't want you to think we're Amish, but
because we're not.
and we keep saying that, and we will keep saying that. I guess
We need to say it on every video,
we're not Amish.
every short. It should just come at the beginning of every short. Like
We're
just-
not Amish.
We're not Amish.
Just like really quick.
Really quick. Yeah.
Christian. We're Christian.
Christians.
Christians. Not
Okay.
Amish.
There we go. So that is the tea on the comments. Those are some of the things we thought about.
And I'm sure we didn't mention everything, but I felt like that was like the main, like there's like repeating comments
That
that you keep
stuck
seeing.
out.
Yeah, those really stuck out to us. So anyway, y'all take care. You know what time it is. Peace, love, and hair grease.